Welcome to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about crystals and the connection with crystals and how we work with crystals as a crystal healer for the past 2 decades. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Today I think we should go into depth with this question constantly asked, and that is it dangerous to put crystals together, and what kind of negative effects do they cause if you put the wrong crystals together? This to me has been a fascinating subject and one which has baffled me, and the reason why is because when crystals are put together, there's a kind of energy that all I can say is it's almost like a football team. Just before you start and you want to create a football team, at school we used to have, like, I don't know, 30 kids, and the teacher would call out 2 people and then they'd say, okay, choose your team. And you'd choose your team, right? You'd choose, it doesn't matter whether they're fast or the best, you just choose who you wanted on your team. And to me, that's how it feels. So as a healer, when you start your first session in the morning, you normally get your crystals ready. You get your room ready, cleanse clear yourself, and your crystals are all nice and tidy. Okay, sometimes they have oil on them and you need to give them a wash, which I used to do regularly. I'd wash my crystals, and so they'd be all nice and clean, so when they touched the client, they would be clean. So you may have, I don't know about you, but as a crystal healer, I had maybe 150 crystals on my tables, on the shelves, all ready to be used. When laying crystals on the client, you might ask, why do you lay a crystal on your client? First of all, I went on intuition, what felt right. And sometimes I just felt drawn, in the sense of you just go and pick a crystal. Sometimes you have an understanding of crystals and you think, okay, well, this person wants to, feel more connected to the family and spirit. What would you use for that? 2 crystals probably. The first one, that client may be going through some grief. Grief, a good crystal for grief, most of you already know this, it would be black tourmaline. Where would you put it? Possibly 2 places, possibly 3. The grief might be sat in the stomach. More than not, it's around the heart area, but sometimes in the mind. So you might use 3 black tourmalines. Brilliant. Cover all bases. And then you want to strengthen the connection. So, hey, nice crystal. Which one? Feel the pull. Maybe, I don't know, amethyst. Something that really connects you to the spirit world, something really powerful. You can go to Super 7. Oof. Let's try a beautiful piece of moonstone. So, and then all of a sudden, as you're working with your client and that's happening, all of a sudden you get this pull, this feels like that there's an issue with this client. And it feels like an issue right in their back. Why? Because maybe your back is in pain, because you're picking up the energy of the client. That's why when you're around people, you have to be careful, because you can pick up their energy. And what that means is you can feel bad like them because your body's telling you what's wrong with them. So you can pick it up, and then you can actually create that energy too. So you have to be careful. You have to understand these things and how to, protect yourself and work with it, and how to cleanse and clear it away. Anyway, going back to my client's lying down there, she's now got 5-6 pieces on. Okay, but now I've got another feeling. That feeling is my back. There's some real deep-rooted issues, and it feels like this person's just had some really negative message from somebody who's really upset them. Okay, and I can feel that in my back because that's where it sits. So, as you all know, something like that would be perfect, would be a black tactite. So I'd get the tactite and I'd put it either on the stomach, because it shoots straight down to the back, or I'd put it at the sides. Okay, so now I've got 6, 7 crystals on them. But now all of a sudden I'm getting a pain in my ankle, real bad pain. And all of a sudden another pain in my knee. What am I going to use to my knee? What's wrong? What does it feel like? That feels like inflammation. It feels like, ooh, it feels inflamed. Okay, so what am I going to use to that? It feels like I want to detox that. I want to cleanse and clear that as best as I can. What would I go for? Maybe mother of pearl, a nice piece of freshwater pearl. Just put it on there and rest it there. But still I've got an issue with my joints. My joint pain down in my the kind of knuckle part there. It just feels like the movement of all of that. It feels like stiff and it's hurting. I want something to clear that away. I want the blood flow. I want maybe I'll go for a nice ruby garnet. So now I've got 10 pieces around my client, okay? All working beautifully, independently on certain places of the body. Now let me ask you this. What in God's name would some so-called healers or crystal sellers or workers with crystals would say that certain crystals put together are dangerous? I've just explained to you as a healer for 20 years how crystals work. They don't interfere with each other. If anything, they help each other. A typical example for that would be a beautiful piece of Herkimer diamond. You put Herkimer diamond or even a piece of Moroccan quartz, you stick any crystal next to that and work them together and you will have an absolute abundance of energy of the crystal that works with it. So it actually heightens the energy of another crystal that goes next to it. I have never in my entire working career have touched a crystal, 2 crystals, and thought, oh, there's something wrong here with these 2 crystals together. Never, ever. In fact, I compliment crystals when they come together. It's the most beautiful marriage. It's a sacredness of energies coming together. They work independently, for sure, but they also work together. So, I've seen so much fear in this field of work. And every time I've confronted that fear within people, it's because somebody has placed that fear into them because of a need of ego, a fear of lack of clientele, or a fear of a lack of acknowledgement, and so on. I'm not being nasty. I'm just relaying to you what I know deep in my heart. And that is, I can't for the sake in me understand this notion of 1 and then 2 crystals coming together that can be dangerous. I can't get it in my head. I've worked with hundreds of thousands of crystals on a daily basis. I've got thousands of crystals here all the time, every day for the past 20 years. If anybody would say, listen, putting 2 crystals together, this and that crystal is dangerous, surely that would be me. Or maybe it's just, that's not out of ego, but it's out of a working healer with thousands of clients. The body is an amazing thing. It's always cleansing and clearing, always. And when we put the right things in our body, it cleans out what needs to come out. So if we're drinking a beautiful herb, it will clear out the parasites, and then we'll start to maybe feel sick because of the parasites being killed and the toxins that they leave behind or create. But the point being is, if you are working on your spiritual self with crystals, what they're doing is targeting a certain place and healing it. And sometimes the venting process, the cleansing of that, can feel like there's something wrong. Oh, it must be the crystal. You know, crystals don't do any harm. The only thing a crystal does is change the frequency of a necessary part in the body, which is blocked, trapped, trauma, any kind of physical issue, which will work on that and heal it. Vibration is everything, and crystals are high vibration. That's it. So when people kind of think, oh, moldavite is dangerous, it's not dangerous. It's just cleansing and clearing. It's just very powerful and clearing whatever needs to be cleared. Whenever you place a crystal on you and you're like, oh, I feel strange or I feel weird, it's a healing process. Smile. Work through it, because once that venting is done, spiritually speaking, you will be a stronger version of yourself. Why? Because it's healing you. And that's it. That's the bottom line. So I've made maybe 20 or 30 videos on this subject, but it doesn't matter how many times I make the video and how many times I try and share this with you. It's almost like so many people just run to fear. I would be very cautious of who you listen to who talk about crystals and fearing crystals. I've never met a crystal that I didn't love. Crystals don't hurt people. People hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. People who are in fear with no knowledge, no understanding of anything, will instantly go to fear and share that fear through, please listen to me, because nobody really acknowledges me anyway, so please listen to me. So, you know, fear is an easy way to bring clients to your door. You know, it really is. Just look at all the headlines right now. It's all fear-based because most people are attracted to fear. So I guess the only way, to leave it on this note, the only way you're ever going to get stronger is a belief in yourself and walking away from fear and knowing that you are the teacher. If anybody teaches fear, they're not teachers. I am wishing you a lovely day, guys. Take care. Thank you so much for going to markbajerski.com. I have a beautiful fluoride angel here. Gorgeous. I've just finished working on it. It's a really lovely car. It's gorgeous. It's really, really lovely. I created an account called Minnect, MINNECT. I created it last night because through the day, through the week, through the month, through the years, I'm constantly being asked many questions. And it takes up probably 2 to 3 hours a day. I've done it from my heart to yours all the time, as much as I can. And I created this because two reasons. One, because people just like to ask all the time. Just ask. And when I've answered one question, then it's 100 questions. And I get exhausted. So I saw this guy on Valuetainment, and he said, we've just set up an app called Minnect. It's a really hard word to say if you're dyslexic. And he said, look, if you want to find an expert and ask them a question, here's the place. And I thought, okay. So I signed up, became an expert. And if you want to ask a question, if you want to connect to me, then that's where you need to go now. And the reason why is because today I can give this beautiful, amazing, gorgeous crystal away because of the people who supported me on Minnect. So they paid, and now I can give this away with love to somebody. So underneath here, if you've never had a crystal gifted from me to you, if you've never had an oil or incense or anything gifted, and you're new to this channel, or you've been here this channel for ages, but you've never asked for anything, and this is your first time, then just say, I would love this angel, please. and I'll scroll down, choose somebody, and you will get this from my heart because of the kindness of the 4 people last night who asked me a question on Minect and were happy with the answer, and they paid for that, and now I can gift back to somebody who can't afford. I think that's really nice. Anyway, guys, love you all. Take care. If you want to ask a question, I'll link it below at Minect, and yeah, I'll try and answer that question from the bottom of my heart. Some of the questions were which crystal would work best for me. I closed my eyes for a few minutes, 5 minutes, channeled that message, channeled the crystal, and sent it to them, and they were very happy. So if that's what you want, if you want to connect and ask me any question at all, then click the link below, and yeah, upload that app. Hey, there's a lot of people there who are experts. Maybe you might be an expert, and maybe it's time that you became that expert. And instead of gifting all the time, it's nice to receive. It's called universal exchange. All right, that's it. Take care. Love you all. Become an expert. Why not? You probably are, aren't you?